What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Miss Eha, coming live with Journey with Trish the podcast. Go ahead now, like right now, and like, comment, follow, share everything you need to do to make sure we reach as many people as possible. So super duper excited to be back with Journey with Trish the podcast, Houston tonight. And I got my girl with me, but I'm gonna tell you about her in just a minute. Let me go ahead and give you my medical disclaimer. Neither myself, Patricia Reed, aka Miss Eha Demes, is here to give you any type of medical or psychiatric advice. If you're having any type of those emergencies, I will defer you to your nearest emergency room or contact your primary care provider, because I am not, Jazz is not, we are not your medical providers tonight. Miss Jasmine Davis, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where you are.
All right, guys. I am Jasmine Davis. I am currently live right now in Alabaster, Alabama. I'm a mother of two. I just received my master's degree in psychology, and I work as a developmental specialist for children.
I love me some psychology. We talked about
Yep.
that the other day. I'm very thrilled about that. So congratulations to you for all that
Thank
you've
you.
done so far and all that you will do in the
Yes.
future. So let's talk relationships. You guys talk a lot about on Unfiltered. Tell me about your podcast.
Yes, Unfiltered. So it's a podcast with me and my best friend. So we're the best friends, Jasmine and Jasmine Squared. And we talk about all the topics that people just send in and the things that people want to know, but we make it unfiltered so everybody feels safe and that they can say what they want to say. No judgment. We listen and we don't judge, right? What the people
That's
say.
right.
So we listen and we don't judge and we just want to see what the people and how the people feel about it.
Perfect, 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 perfect. Because here at Journey with Trish, the podcast, we are definitely unfiltered. However, I am noticing that the millennial population is a little bit more unfiltered than we are, which is why I'm thrilled to have you here on the show with me tonight. Always want to make it a comfortable environment. Listen, we have those conversations here that we need to be having anyway, right? That nobody wants
Right.
to talk about. So let's talk about it now. Dating. Tell me, everybody knows I am recently divorced. I've been divorced since June 29th of this year after
Yes.
we almost made 26 years of marriage. So I am brand new to the dating world. And I tell everybody, I have already taken myself out of the dating pool. It was not fun for me.
What?
It is not fun. Maybe
Okay.
later. Honestly, Jasmine, I don't even want to do it to anybody else right now, because
Okay.
whereas in my mind I thought, oh yeah, I'm ready. Like, let's go. Like, once I got out there, girl, I got a wandering eye. So it's like I'll go out with somebody, and if I'm not feeling you, like, now I'm mad because you brought me to somewhere and I'm really feeling it here, and there's some eye candy walking around here, and now like I gotta finish out this date, right? I have literally, I have literally gone back the next weekend by myself to places that someone has taken me, honestly. So I want to know what you feel like. How do you feel? How long were married?
Yes, so I was married for 15 years. And listen, I'm a newbie like you. I'm fresh out here, and it's different, Miss Trish. I'm telling you, we haven't been in the game in a long time. So how the millennials, like I'm a millennial, but I don't even like to claim it. I really honestly want to be an auntie because like I call myself auntie because of the stuff that they doing and how they doing it. I'm just like, that's not it.
It's so
But what you
different.
said though, I love that you said that, like, right then that you don't want to date, right? So for me, I can't lie to you. So I popped out, and so I was just like, it's okay for me to have friends, and let them text me and call me lunch date, brunch date. Uh-uh. Listen, that phone started going ping, 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 ping. I had to turn it off and start blocking people because I listen. They start overstimulating me, so because this is new. I'm not used to that, and it was just too much going on and on. Because at first you like, let me see if I still got it. Like what's out here? You hear people say like it's really ghetto out here. No, it's really ghetto out here.
It really is.
Oh my goodness. And so they were overstimulating me, and I was like, you know what? I see why this is not for me. I'm honestly a relationship girl though. So
Mhm.
like all that calling and texting me, and it seemed like it was like a smoke signal went off. Like everybody wake up at the same time, everybody trying to send you a message, everybody sending you a DM, and I'm just like, this is just too much. This is not it. And so and it's a big no for me. And then I'll be honest, I've been to say, hey, I went on a date with, Carl the other night. Because I would tell on myself, and then I'm a creature of habit. So I post
But
a
is
lot.
it really telling on yourself though? If you're not in a relationship, is it really telling on yourself, or you just talking
Well,
too much? I'm guilty
some
of that.
people they might got in their feelings about some things. So they're like, oh, why you didn't go on a date with me? Well, I went on a date with Carl. And then they get in their feelings, and I'm just like, well, I'm all about honesty. So I'm telling you, and like you said, when you're not in a relationship with them, that's why it's new. And so that's why it's like I'm learning that dating is different from even when I was younger and dating. Dating was like boyfriend and girlfriend. Dating now, that's why the topic is date all of them. If you're dating now, that's exactly what it means. Date
That's what
all of them.
everybody is doing. A lot of people are doing. I was gonna say I've tried. I'm totally transparent. I've tried the dating apps. My friends were having a fit about me trying to date now. Everybody got me on Life 360. I got to text them before I leave. I got to sneak. Got to take a picture when I get there. Like it was just too much. So I went on this date with this one guy, and we just like met up at this little you know what a roti is?
Mm.
Anyway, it's just like a little simple like Indian potato wrap, like
Okay.
simple, like a little simple restaurant. And then when we left there, he was like, well, all right, it's a cigar lounge that's in the neighborhood. I like to continue this for a little while. And he was like, you want to ride with me? I was like, well, no, I'm not going to get in, the car with you, but I'll follow you over there. I hope you don't see this. So I learned that day that you have to be on these dating apps. Like they have all of those little boxes you really need to check, like what you like. Because like I'm used to tall. Like I like tall. So I had to go back and implement. All right, you ain't got to be tall, but you got to be at least 5'10". Like that is my limit. You can't be short as me. You can't be short of me. And I like to wear high heels. So it's like when I got there, he was already sitting down, right? So I sit down, we talk, we having a good conversation. But when we went to stand up, and I realized we were shoulder to shoulder, I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. But it was nice conversation. So we going over to the cigar lounge where I see some guys in there that's like 5'12" at least, or 6'1". I'm like, I don't want to be here with you no more. But now I'm here with you, right? When we got ready to leave, he was like, so you can go ahead and come off that dating app now. Oh, for real? Like we've been together for 3 hours, and you already telling me, oh, you can come off that dating app. After this, I am coming off the dating app, but it's not because I'm done dating, and it's definitely not because I'm committing to you. Like we've been together for 3 hours.
Yes.
You're right, Lucretia. Lucretia is somebody who is going to join us a little bit later. She said she has something she wants to add to tonight's topic. I'll send you the
Okay.
link in a little while, dear. Have you ever tried a dating app before?
No, no, I can't do the dating apps. I can't do it. Listen, I was on what is it, Snap? And I started off with a Snap because I didn't have a Snap and I got rid of my Snap. Listen, I got some pictures that just came to me and I said, you know what? I'm gonna head on out. I'm gonna go ahead and deactivate because this ain't it. So yeah. And my friends have told me about that dating app. They say that some of them people on there be lying about who they really are, and they was like just naturally meet somebody, sis. That's not it.
It's definitely I've seen people get married from dating apps, but it won't be me because I didn't. The Facebook dating app, Hinge, all of them are. I don't even have them on my phone anymore. And it's like the guys are so defensive because they not women, like they feel like they're the only ones who have been catfished before, right? So like they're rude and they're arrogant. Like if you don't want to do this and this, and if you catfish and this and no filters on your pictures, like dang, like you got to put all of that. Like you coming off as hostile from the beginning. It's trash. Leave those dating apps alone, and they're dangerous. They're very dangerous. They
Yeah.
can be very dangerous too. So So let me ask you, when you hear, what else do you think of when you hear the date them all? I'll tell you what I think about dating them all, and then you tell me what else you think. I'm getting an alert from somewhere. As far as dating them all, I don't think it's a bad concept, right? Dating them all, because you
Hmm.
want to get to know people. But like you said, for me, it's also hyper stimulating. Like that dating app is very hyper stimulating because you get all those alerts and likes and hearts. But you got to keep up with it, like you said, right? You got to remember the names. Like, you got to remember the face with the name. You already got to put a profile picture, or you gonna forget who you even talking to.
Right.
I don't. I like. I'm definitely a relationship person.
Yes.
So what else about dating? And it is expensive. It's expensive for the guy. Guys that's out there dating them all. That's got to be hella expensive, right? In Houston, for real, you going out, you spending at least $100 or very close to it on a
Yes.
date. So
Absolutely.
dating them all and like several nights a week seems a bit much to me. But for girls, like, even like if you have young kids and you gotta get a babysitter, if you don't have nothing to wear, hopefully you can do your own makeup, hopefully you can do your own hair. Because if you gotta do all of that every time you go on a date, like, because it's not like when you get comfortable with somebody, you might not put on no makeup every time.
Right.
You know, it's time consuming. But tell me what else you think about dating them all.
I feel like if you don't know what you want, like if you're just new out here and you're unsure, like you say, you realize that you're a relationship girl. So people that are unsure if they're a relationship girl or a relationship guy, and if they're not wanting to get into anything serious, I definitely say date them all. I say date them all if you're not sure what you want. I say date them all. Again, like you said, it's harder though for the males. Because and that's another thing. The ladies aren't giving them no slack. Cause I be seeing stuff in the shade room and how the girls be like, "Oh, I sent her $50 for lunch," and she was like, "That's not enough." And I'm just like, "What they eating lunch at?" You know, listen. That's what I have been in this world for a while, so I'm just like, sis can't eat for $50. Like
Mhm.
what?
Especially by yourself, right? Because I ain't feeding you and your best friends. You know?
Yeah, because they be like they want lobster tails and all these like seafood bags, and we like that, but like $50 at lunch, and then they're not grateful, they send it back, and so I'm just like, ooh, like you said, it's expensive, and I truly, my answer really is date them all. If you're not sure what you want, date them all.
And
Date them all,
how
and
do you make yourself honest about that? Or like, not so much honest, because I know my friends tell me all the time I talk too much. Like, I share
that's
more
me.
information than I have to.
That's me.
Yeah, like
I
I'm gonna be
overly
careful.
communicate. I overly communicate.
Yes, I'm so working on that. I'm so working on that because I know, like, I was talking to somebody the other day. I know there's a lot of people out there that have way more, have had privy to way more information than they even deserve to have. So work on that. Yeah, work on that. You
Yes,
don't
I
got to
gotta work on that.
know too much. Like, the only thing you need to know is what's in front of us right now.
Yeah.
How much do you feel like you need to get to know about a person on a first date? Like, and how do you, like, what triggers you to say, okay, yeah, we can do this again?
Um, like genuine, honest, when you start asking those questions, like, well, why aren't you in a relationship? And that, like, you start realizing that it's like realness to it, and so rawness. Instead of them like trying to cover up, or if they just bashing their ex or something like that, that's a red flag. Like, just paying attention and make sure there's no red flags. So that would get someone a second date when they're being really themselves and transparent, and just interest. I'm a music girl. I like listening to music, getting out every now and then. I don't have to get out all the time, having a drink, and just connecting natural connections is what get people like a second day. I'm laughing at the comment. So
But
yeah, that's a
go ahead.
connection, like, when you like, okay, and then because there'll be times where you like, honestly, for me, in 5 minutes I know when I'm done.
5 minutes?
5 minutes, Miss Trish. They gonna say something that's completely stupid, and I'm
After
gonna say,
5 minutes.
5 minutes. And when they make, listen, I had this one guy make up this whole, like, he was like, we were on the phone. And he said, he told me, he was like, we was talking about kids. And he was like, he don't have a kid, and then he went back and after I said I had 2 kids. And then he said, well, yeah, I got like a little girl. She's not mine. And when I stay in the house with the ex-girlfriend that's not, I've been taking care of the child since the child was here and he stay in the house. I said, hey, you know what? My daughter's calling me. Let me call you back. Block. It was 5 minutes. Blocked. I don't have time for that.
I don't like the way to, and then maybe it's not in your. I don't know because I've communicated with somebody as young as his 30s. If I'm being honest, I don't like the way. Okay, like if you go on social media, like guys, especially the first of the year, like they're starting to put up these posts that sound like what girls have been posting. Like, in 2025 is no more this, and that. But it sounds like everything a girl would say. And it kind of makes sense that they're saying it, but we like, you way too sassy for me. You know what I'm saying? However, like when guys start saying things like, telling me all about themselves and saying things like, I'm a catch. I don't like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't like because I don't get out here and just like I'll tell you a lot about me, but I'm not like bragging on myself like, oh yeah, you really need to have me because I'm really a catch and you probably ain't gonna find much better than me. Like that's what I hear when I hear I'm a catch. So how do you feel like if somebody came up to you and number one, they're telling you more about themselves and you like are trying to get a word in edgewise, and when you leave, they don't know nothing about you, but you know everything about them.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And I'm sorry, Lucretia, I put the link for the podcast in the comment section, so you can click on that link and it'll bring you over to the waiting room. Go ahead, Jasmine.
If somebody told me that, I'll listen. I'll tap into the therapy mode. Now you on the couch and I'm listening to you. Right? And then after that, I'm gonna head on out. It's not gonna be it won't be a second date. It won't be a phone call back. It won't. Cause it's like, we're not doing it. And then like all that you really need to be on my team and all that, it's just that's too much.
And see, sometimes I think the therapy, like nurse practitioner part of me, like I have to definitely step out of that role because yeah, I'll be sitting there, but the difference is not only am I sitting there listening to them, hell, I'm trying to see how I can fix them. Like instead of me picking up on these red flags, I'm like, okay, what can we do to work on that when I should be like, all right, bro, you know let me give you Jasmine's number. Let's see if I can, you can sit on her couch or something like that. Red flags. Have you ever been the person, or are you very good at picking up? It sounds like you're very good at picking up on red flags and then shying away from them.
Yes and no. Okay, so sometimes I'm really good at picking them up, right? And then sometimes, like, so I struggle because I'm like, am I too much in my brain because of like past trauma? So sometimes I'm not good. Like when I'm good, I'm good. But like I'm not good at finding a balance because either I'm like super right or
Mm-hmm.
super wrong. So I do struggle with that because I be like, nah, I gotta get out of my head. But I can't lie to you though. I will pray when I've been wrong. I'll be like, yeah, you didn't have to say that or you did too much. Like, and then sometimes it was like, oh no, that's exactly what you thought. Stand on it. So yeah, I struggle with in between because it's just like, yeah, I'll be like, nope, nope, I don't believe that. That don't even sound right, And then it be like, that could be possible.
Do you ever find yourself like because of like you mentioned the word trauma? You ever find that because of past experiences or different things that may have happened in not even your marriage but other relations? I'm not sure how long
Hmm.
you and your husband were together before you were married, but does that ever play in a role, especially texting? Like, I feel like I can pick up a better vibe in person, but a lot of times when I'm texting somebody, I'm like, no, he lying. Like, like the whole time, like I call BS on most conversations that are text messages. You ever find it hard to trust because of your past experiences?
Yes. Yeah, so those are the times where I do have to get myself together because I'll be like, they might could be actually telling the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'll be like, that's why I'm like, I'll be struggling sometimes because I'll be like, Jasmine, get out your head, girl. You gotta, everybody's not the same, or this might not be what your homegirl told you or your homeboy told you, and so it's just like, so that's why that middle part I do struggle with. I do struggle with.
And don't say homeboy because a lot of my close friends are male. My cousin, my male cousin, I speak with him a lot, and one of my best friends. So, like, I had to start realizing, you know what? Like, I'm walking around here and I'm trying to be in my soft girl era, but I'm taking advice from all of these men.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so yeah, I'm out here acting like a man and doing mannish things because I'm taking advice from men. So I had to stop literally like talking to them because in my mind, they're going to tell me what to do and to make him respond the way he should respond. But still, like a man can't tell me what to do as a female. He can tell me what he might like, but he can't really tell me how to act as a female. So I definitely have to stop taking so much
Now that's
advice.
good that you say that. It's good that you say that because like I have a lot of male cousins and the ones that I'm close with, they do tell me like, hey, you have to, and sometimes I'll be like, am I the dude? Like I have said that to myself.
Seriously.
I was like, am I the problem because I'm the dude? So I'll be like,
Seriously.
okay, because am I the one that's thinking like the man? So sometimes.
Sometimes we really, really do if you take advice. Even if I think back to things that my dad has told me, because they're gonna tell you most men are not, if they're giving you advice, they're giving you advice on things they want you to look out for, right?
Yes.
Not the good stuff. So all you're thinking about is, oh, so and so said if they do this or they say that, I got to think about this. I need to say
Yep.
this. So I'm always on the lookout for that bad stuff. And yeah, I'm responding very, very manly in those situations. I really
Yeah.
am. I
I'm the
don't know.
same and I didn't realize it.
You got to really, really be careful with it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel before you re-entered the dating world when you were still married? Were you that softer female, or did you have to play more of a manly role,
I,
mannish?
I I don't think I was a softer female. I don't. And the reason why, because like my job was like to make sure that everybody was always good. So I don't really think I was like able to be the soft girl. And then like, being the oldest and like you just like, you just want to make sure that everybody's good. Like even like the oldest in like some of my friend groups or like being the oldest out of me and my younger sister. So like, and having kids early. So it's like you want to make sure that everybody else is good. So it's just like, sometimes and when you meet new people, they'll let you know like you don't have to do all that. That's like that's doing too much and you don't realize that. So yeah, I think before I was oh, maybe manly in some areas, what the people call manly. So yeah. And then, being raised by a single mom, when you see them do certain things, you be like, oh, I can do that. That's no problem. So yeah. Sometimes I think I have been and it didn't dawn on me. And so one of my gay cousins, he was like, girl, I see what's the problem. Your little 5 foot behind, you had like a dude. And I was like,
Seriously.
really? And I
I
was like,
had
really?
I have a TV. I bought this TV stand for my guest room. So the guy, they have this thing called Tasker where you can like, they probably got it up there where you can like get on this app and get somebody to come hang something.
Okay.
So the guy came to hang the curtains in the bedrooms. I'm like, all right, well, while he's here, I'm gonna go ahead and put my TV stand together, right? So here I am down there with these long nails and my screw. No, I didn't even get out the screwdriver or the drill, just the little Allen wrench that comes inside the box, right? So by the time he's done with all 3 sets of curtains, I'm down there on the floor still fumbling with this TV stand. He was like, you need help, ma'am? You need help? And I was like, nah, I got it. So he's packing up his stuff. He said, you need help, ma'am? I was like, I got it. And just as I said I got it the last time, one of the little clips anyway, I'll just say clip, fell like inside of this thing, right? And so it
Mhm.
had to be taken all the way back apart to get it. He said,
Wow.
ma'am, Let me help you. I was like, all right, thank you, because I got to take it all apart. So he goes and pulls out his drill while I'm down there using his Allen wrench. He took it apart and put it the whole thing back together in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes. So things like that, like it's like I always want to show guys, like I don't need you. Like I can do this, like I can put this together myself, But when you have help, accept the help. So that's definitely something I'm working on when it comes
No,
to.
me too. Working on accepting the help because I wasn't good at that. Like I'm really bad at that. No, I got it. I'll figure it out.
Hold on, baby. My charger is not wanting to charge. All right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, trying to fix, so like, hey, before, because you traveled a lot with the military, if you don't mind me saying.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So a lot of times when you are a military wife, you are home a lot. So by yourself a lot. So how do you think it's gonna be now? Like the next relationship, whenever you do get in one, you think you're gonna be okay with that person in the house with you that's always gonna be there? It's not gonna
Yes,
drive you.
yes. I think honestly I like that a lot better. I don't like the TDYs and the deployments. I don't like those. I don't like those. So again, I'm a super relationship girl. So I'm just like, yeah, if we vibe and you my man, like I need you to be there. I need you to be there.
Are you clingy?
I think I'm in between. I think so, and the reason why I say I'm in between because I would say that I'm clingy, but sometimes I really be liking my space. So I think I'm in between because I go into these moments where I'll be like, okay, I need some Jasmine time, and so I wouldn't say I'm super clingy, but I can say it's times when I am clingy, I'm clingy, you know. So
I
yeah,
I think that at this point in my life, I will be clingy as long as you're with me. But when you're with me, you're probably going to get on my nerves because I've gotten so used to being in my own space, you know? So the idea of, yeah, it might be nice to have somebody, come and or me go and, spend the nights. But then the idea, I'm like, yeah, no, probably not. You know what I'm saying? It's just not where I am right now because I've gotten very comfortable being. It's almost like, for instance, when my daughter came to visit for Thanksgiving, right? When I got up, and you still have kids, so you're not really there yet. But now that I'm here now by myself, like when I get up. Number one, when I'm done getting dressed, I'm done getting dressed, right? When I
mm,
get ready to go, I am ready to go. I don't have nobody waiting on me, and I'm not waiting on anybody, you know? So now when my daughter was here and I'm up and I'm ready to go, but she's still in there flat on her hair, and I'm like, okay, no, wait a minute. I ain't used to that. Only been like a month, and I'm like, yeah, I ain't used to this no more. I need you to come on. So I think that's kind of probably why they say if you're gonna get in a relationship, like don't stay single too long. I believe, and I mean, I've been here for 3 months. I've been divorced since June 29th, but my ex did not actually leave, I think, until late July, I believe, is when he actually left the house. And so I've been like by myself that time, and even before then, like we weren't communicating anymore, really. So, and we weren't spending any time together. So I've been by myself probably you can say since March of last
yeah.
year, even those times when we were in the house together. So I'm used to being by myself now. But I wouldn't lie and tell anybody that I don't want some company sometimes. I would just be lying.
Okay. So okay, so for me with like you were saying like with the kids, so I guess because I lived away so long from like my immediate family, like I'm used to seeing them on like holidays, right? So sometimes I enjoy just to see them for like big holidays or maybe like every other month or every month or something like that, right? So that company can be a little bit much sometimes, just because I'm not used to having so much company. But like if I'm in a relationship, I was I built my relationship on the family that I created.
Hmm.
And so like I'm used to seeing them, so like it wouldn't bother me, of course, because you got, that person to work and then I go to work. So then like when we together, then yeah, I would want him around, and that's if I like him. You got to really like him to want him around. If not, then yeah. I need my space for real, because you get on you get on my nerve. You don't want to get on my nerve too bad, too long, because that's not good. So yeah. I want my guy around a lot. Yeah.
And do you feel, this is something I talked about before, like as far as healing, we are always saying that you need to heal first. And I've said it all the time. And like I still say now, heal first before you take your baggage and that trauma into another relationship. However, the more and more I thought about it, like, are we ever truly totally healed? And how do we know? Like, how do you know you totally healed from something if you don't test the water? Like when you think about in the movie Just Right, when he's towards ACL, right? And it was time for him to get back out there and play, but he was scared. Like he was scared to use it because he didn't know if it was gonna fail him. So I
Hmm.
believe sometimes we don't get in a relationship, even though we've done our work and we've healed, but I'm still scared because I don't want to be hurt no more. But you can't ever really guarantee. You can't. Nobody can guarantee you
Yep.
that you're never going to be hurt anymore, because we're, at the end of the day, we're all human, right? We all have the capacity to make mistakes, to sin, to do things intentionally. Like we all have that capacity to hurt someone. So how do you feel about, because I don't want to ask if you're dating right now, but how do you feel about the healing portion of it, and when it's okay for somebody to safely start dating?
I did hear something that you said, and it was really good. You shared something about like, again, how do you know if you don't actually like tap in to see like, oh, am I really ready for this? So I
Mhm.
wholeheartedly agree that you don't. And okay, let me go back a little farther. With healing, I don't believe a lot of times you're ever going to be 100% healed. And the reason why I say that, there can be a date, there could be a song, there could be the weather, there could be a memory, anything that can like trigger you. And when I say trigger you, like not to a point where it's gonna like you make you spaz out, but it could trigger you and just like make you go back to that moment, right?
Mhm.
So again, you have to try that out to see.
Because
I
you're not
do.
gonna know that it still triggers you until it
Yes.
triggers you.
Exactly. Then two, I believe you can also start and you don't have to wait long, because guess what? In some relationship, and I'm just relationships that you've been in for a long time, let me tell you something. Before you press end on that divorce paper, you left the relationship a long time ago.
Long time ago, and I
You
don't
left
think
the relationship a long time ago mentally, and you tried it, you tried to make it work out, but you already left it mentally. So a lot of times when people are like, oh dang, they moved on fast, did they? Were you with them? Do you know that they really, really
exactly.
left? You just see them together, but were they really there? So
Mhm.
no, I believe in when you know when the time is right, and then even when you tap out and you get your feet wet, and then you be like, nah, I'm gonna come back on in because I'm
It's
really
that
not ready for that.
easy.
And that's
It's
the good thing
that
about
easy.
it. Somebody shared with me the other day, like that's the good thing about dating versus being married. You can say, hey, I'm gonna head on out. You ain't got no paperwork to sign. You ain't gotta break up everything and split it down the middle. It's like, hey, you know, yeah, I decided this is not gonna work for me and I'm gonna head on out.
It's true. It's true, and that's why I feel like it's so important to be honest. I was talking the other day. I think I did a reel or something about how a lot of times girls, and I've been one of them before. I'll be totally honest, like that live in like a fear of rejection when somebody says something like, I really don't think I'm ready for what you're looking for. What I heard was, oh yeah, I really don't want to be with you. When it might not be, like it might be just, yeah, I'm really not ready, because we tell these guys, I'm looking for somebody that can help me, not, I'm looking for somebody that can love me. I'm looking for somebody that can help me financially. We can help each other. I'm looking for somebody who I can raise a family with. Like you tell them all of these things, and if what that guy doesn't want to have children, right? Do you want him to still marry you even though he really, really does not have to have children? A lot of women do. Why? Because you feel like, oh, well, I'll go ahead and marry him. I'll work on that later. I'm going to make him. He's going to love me so much. He's going to want to have my children. So what do you think about that? Like when guys or girls, but if I'm honest, it's about the way I feel, it's mostly guys who, when they say, yeah, I'm not really ready, or yes, I am, like, I do love you, I do like you, I'm just not ready to marry you. I think it's up for the female to decide, okay, well, am I willing to continue to sit here with this and work with this until he's ready? Or am I going to move on because I want to be married? What's your take on that?
So honestly, I think we as women, and I don't think I do this, but I'm just gonna say we as women. I'm a girl's girl, so all of us. So I think where we mess up and thinking that we can do enough to get a guy to like us and make them change their mind. And I think that's where the problem at, because it's like, okay, we want them to be honest, and then they say, hey, I'm not ready for a relationship, like you just said, or giving those examples. Then we do like the self blame, or we try to do something to make him like us more, right? In reality, you got to have those uncomfortable conversations up front. And you do need to head on out like, hey, I don't want any more kids. And then say you get with somebody that want kids. Then guess what? Let's not waste each other's time. I really like you, and I hope that you're finding what you're looking for, but it's not going to work because I don't want any more kids. And instead of it looking at it like it's a sad thing, like look at it like, hey, I blessed him, he blessed me. Because
Mhm.
now I know I don't want any more kids, and I know he really desired to have kids. So I just think it helps though, so they won't be, I'm just gonna call it like it is, so they won't end up like, me, like literally like divorced, because when you're not having those uncomfortable conversations, or you're changing yourself just to be like, they don't last long. It don't.
And
It's
I
it's
would tell, go ahead.
no, I was just saying it's temporary. We don't know how long temporary is going to be. But it's you're gonna wake up and realize like this is not what I want. And you don't want that.
I would tell anybody, if anybody asked me right now, what advice would you give me? What advice would I give somebody that is still in a marriage, male or female? You need to ask, I'm gonna look dead in the camera. You need to ask your partner, your spouse, routinely, baby, are you happy? Baby, are
Yes.
you happy? You cannot, I'm telling you, I knew, I like in my heart, I knew that my ex-husband wasn't happy, right? But I kept trying to do things and do things and do things because I wanted him to be happy and I wanted my marriage to work. And so one day when I just, realized, like when it's those alone times, like when I'm sitting up in the house and the children are gone, because I'm telling you, when your kids are gone, that's a telling point right there,
Mhm.
because you don't got no more soccer practices to go to keep you busy. You don't got no more parades to hang out late at
Wow.
night. So you
Mhm.
don't have all of these things to keep you busy all the time. And so now it's just you and your spouse or partner together, right? Y'all going to work and y'all coming home. You sitting up in your house with your spouse, and it's just you and him, and one of y'all talking about y'all lonely. You got to find something to do. One of y'all playing on Facebook all the time. I started a whole nonprofit organization, and everybody would ask me, why did you start a nonprofit? And it didn't even dawn on me back then, but I said it every time, because I needed somebody to talk to.
Mm.
Like, go, like hindsight being 20, I'm like 2020, like how? How? So I'm telling you, like, it was at that point when I realized something ain't right. Like, I'm sitting in here in my house. I got a whole husband right out there. I'm lonely as hell. What is going on? And so when I went and I asked him, I don't think, like, something is off. Like, are we all right? And he proceeded to tell me that he wasn't happy, and it was,
Mhm.
it's not you, it's me. I didn't hear any of that. What I heard is, I'm not happy. If we're in the same for 3 years, I haven't been happy. He says, okay, so if we're sitting here together and you are not happy, and I feel like I'm personally happy, what I realize is You can be happy as an individual, right? And your relationship not be happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because if that other person's not happy and you happy, you got this like unbalance, right? There has to be a balance of happiness. You're not going to know when I go back and I ask people ask me now and I'll say, well, how are you and so doing? They'll go, well, I think we're okay. Like, no. You
You need to
can't
know.
think. Yeah, you can't think. You got to know because that was
Mm-hmm.
my problem. I thought I wasn't sure, and when I asked, I found out what I was thinking was actually true. And so that's when a lot of people, when I tell them now, they'll be like, you saying that, but you knew, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, I knew. You got to pay attention to what's going on in your own household. Like, I'm starting this organization. I'm helping all of these women in the community, and my marriage is in shambles. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So you got to pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. I don't know what's going on with my charger. What's going on in your household? But ask the question, like Jasmine said. Have those uncomfortable
Yes.
conversations. Are we okay? Are you happy? I'm gonna get up for 1 second and go grab another charger. Talk
Okay.
to the people, Jasmine.
Hi, people. But yes, like Miss Trish said, you constantly need to ask your spouse. You need to ask your partner, are you happy? Hey, what does happiness look like to you? And again, it's mostly important to make sure that you find happiness within yourself because honestly, that's too much pressure. If I'm being honest, for somebody to they have to make you happy at all times because that's a little bit much as well. But you need to have happiness within yourself because guess what, if the relationship does not work, are you going to still be happy? So finding happiness within self, and I tell anybody that before they get married, um make sure you're happy with self and always do something for self so that you can still have a life honestly outside your spouse. And when I say outside your spouse, I don't mean anything crazy. I mean like those girls times or those guy times, you still need a little bit of that in between time.
Girl, I might be buying a laptop soon. I don't know what's going on with my charging port. Yes, do not lose yourself in your marriage. Like you'll hear a lot of women say, I ain't going nowhere without my husband. If he don't go, I ain't going. You got to think about it. And it's not just, hey, Renee, how you doing? It's not even, like God forbid your husband pass away, you know, it happens. Who are you without your husband? If all you've
Mhm.
ever done is just be stuck to your husband like glue, you are going to be so completely lost.
Mhm.
You're not going to know life. Like you like even me now, like just not having children and not having a companion of any type. Like I am sitting here literally relearning who I am because I've surrounded myself with so many people for so long. And I take girls trips with my sister is frequently, but still you need to be going out to dinner. Sometimes, even if you are married, you need to be going out to dinner sometimes by yourself. Not your children, not your sister, your auntie. Do it by yourself. You need to take walks in the park sometimes by yourself. You need some self-care and you need some me time, mommies and daddies. If your relationship is in such a place where you can't trust your husband or your wife to go somewhere with somebody else without you or by themselves, there is a problem within your marriage if the reason it can't happen is because of trust. If it's because you're used to each other, I'm saying that's connection that you need to work on, just being more connected with yourself. But if trust is the reason why you can't do it, and if you don't do it because you don't want him to do it, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Work on that because none of us are guaranteed to be here for forever. So what is life going to be like for you when you stuck in a house or an apartment all by yourself? Please listen to me.
Yes.
Anything else I'm probably going to go ahead and cut us short because I don't want to lose power tonight.
Okay.
Anything
Yes.
else you want to add tonight?
Um I think you said like the lonely part when you were in a relationship and seeing that that was a problem. Um, yeah, that I can understand because like you said that like you have a person, but you really feel like you're by yourself. And when or if you do come to that, like again, like that's before you get to that, you do need to be having those conversations. Therapy. I'm an advocate for therapy.
Mhm.
So get into some therapy and try to bring the spark back and just see if this is something that you and your partner really want.
And builds a relationship with a therapist. Like you can start therapy when you decide you can start it when you see your relationship is getting serious. You can go ahead and start build a relationship with the therapist. When you figure out that when you guys decide to get married, you can go ahead and start building a relationship and try to have one that's going to be like as permanent as possible because it's hard starting all over building a therapeutic relationship with the therapist. But you want to be able to I haven't seen Jasmine. We haven't seen Jasmine in 6 months, but she's our therapist. Kind of like a lawyer, like you got a lawyer on retainer just in case something happens, right? Therapists are the same way. You want to build that working relationship so that when you guys need to, like when you need a little what's the word I'm looking for? Like when things start to go south and you just start to see that there's a problem, you can go ahead and go back to that person that already knows your history and not have to start all over. And definitely find somebody that you both trust. Men a lot of times don't like to go, but it's necessary. It's necessary.
Yes, and I want to just piggyback on that. Before you get married, again, go to premarital counseling because I think like I think a lot of times we don't do that, and to see that if we are aligned for each other. So yes, please go to therapy and build a relationship with your therapist. And honestly, try to get a therapist that neither of you know, so that there won't be anyone just taking sides because of who they know and how they were raised and how they grew up, any of that. So yeah, that's my advice on that.
Mhm. And if you don't feel comfortable with a therapist, because everybody's not, a good fit for everybody. A lot of people in the Black community are looking for a Black therapist. That's okay. Don't let anybody make you feel any other way
Hmm.
about it. If you would like to sit down with somebody that looks like you, that's okay. Find a good therapist. You need a recommendation, holla at your girl. I'm still trying to build a list. In Houston, but I promise you I can find you somebody and it won't be too hard to do. And I'm sure Jasmine has some resources
Absolutely.
as well. So everybody, I thank you for joining us tonight. I hope that we have been a blessing to
Yes.
somebody tonight. I still say, yeah, date them all. Date them all. However, as for me, I'm not in the date them all place right now. I just want to date myself. Like I like people
Mm.
watching. People watching is a good form of therapy, right? So I like to go and sit down and people watch people that might be about 6'3", dripped in dark chocolate, pretty white teeth. I want to people watch. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's really not for me at the time. And I wouldn't want to put somebody else, like somebody else who may be looking for a committed relationship. There's no sense in me wasting their time if I know I'm not looking for. Because that's like I said, a lot of people will go into it with the idea of, oh yeah, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna change his mind. I know, like I've got a history of, yeah, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change their mind. Yeah, that's how I ended up. Anyway,
But I love that
anyway.
though. I love the honesty, the transparency. I love it.
Anyway, yeah. Because a lot of us, yeah, we know. And then once you get in, the last thing I'll say is once you get into something, let's speak to the camera again. Once you get into something, don't let the world around you make you think that you have to stay in it. You know, um, God is a merciful God. He is a forgiving God. And the God that I serve would not want me to stay in a place of unhappiness, So when you've tried and you've tried and you've tried and you see that things are just not working and you're just not happy, you have to make this decision that's best for you. And if you have children, of course, for you and your children. Don't even get out of I have heard so many I've been visiting churches, and almost every one of them is saying the same thing. Stop asking so many of your friends for advice. And friends, when people come to you, sometimes you just have to listen to what they're saying, but not necessarily give them advice. My friends were great at that. You can't find a friend out there right now that I got, or a family member out there that I confided in, that told me to leave my ex-husband. Not one of them.
Same.
It was a
Same.
decision that I made on my own. And so that's
Absolutely.
what you guys need to. I didn't look. I wouldn't even go and talk to Pastor King. When I went to tell Pastor King that I was leaving, it was my last Sunday at church. He was like, well, I was hoping when I found out, about, you guys were having problems, I was hoping that you would come and talk to me. And I was like, I know. That's why I didn't come up here. Like, I literally would not talk to him. I didn't want to talk to him about it because I did not want anybody getting inside my head and making me think otherwise. I remember when I told my friend Stacy, and she was just crying because that's what she do. She was crying and she was so upset. And
Yeah.
she was telling me like all these things, I should do. And I said, Stacy, like, I didn't call to ask you for permission. I called you to tell you what I was gonna do. And
Oh,
she said,
yes.
oh, okay. Well, I thought you called me for some advice. And I said, no, I didn't. I had
Mm-mm.
already made up in my mind before I told anybody. I knew exactly what I was gonna do. So I would hope that everybody would get to that spot, like be comfortable enough in your own decision to where you don't need 30, 40 people to help you make the decision that you know you need to make.
Right.
All right. Well, I always offer my guests the opportunity to pray us out. Would you like to take that role tonight?
Okay, yes.
Okay, okay.
All right. First of all, before I go into prayer, I just want to thank you so much for having me tonight. I really
No
appreciate you. And
problem.
again, I hope that we reach people in a positive way as always. All right.
And
Let's go
tell
ahead.
them how to follow your podcast.
Yes, please follow us. We are on Instagram at the best friends. So it's like three A's. Podcast with Jazz, Jas, and then Jazz. And we're on YouTube as well. So follow us there, guys.
And I
All
think
right.
somebody who maybe the other Jazz is actually in the comment section, so you guys can follow from that link. That's
Yes.
in the comment section.
Hey,
All
best friend. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for bringing the people. Thank you for Miss Trish. I pray that her podcast help people in the way, God, that you want her to help people, and that we're being supportive, loving, and caring, God, not being judgmental of other people and their struggles in a way that we can help bring light to this world. I hope that everybody have a safe night and a great night, praying for relationships, praying for those who need to thrive, praying for those who need to let go and just listen to you, like Miss Trish said earlier. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
in Jesus' name. And your pastor feeling better?
Yes, my pastor is feeling better. Yes.
Good, good. We pray for you too, Pastor Mike. All right, thank you. We love you. God bless y'all. Good
Uh,
night.
Good night.